Yes, yes. Welcome back to Live Inside the Booth. You're in here with us. So I'm Marlon Lowe. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us today and being here. Listen, got some things that I want to share. First of all, again, if you can, hit that subscribe button, please. Want to be able to broaden our base, trying to let people know what's going on. And hit the thumbs up button at any point in time you hear, see something that you might enjoy right here that somebody might get out of it. But this right here today is a public forum. Let's call it a public forum or a public session that we want to do today to talk about a league. We're going to talk about a league, but not just a league. It's so many things that's going on right now, right? And, oh, by the way, the comment section right there, I need your feedback. If you have some thoughts, some ideas, if you have any thoughts or ideas on what's going on, what we're talking about today, type something in that comment section. I'm going to read it right quick. I'll read it and we're going to dialogue on it because it needs to be an open discussion. It needs to be communication because it's a lot of things that's going on right now from a basketball perspective and a sports perspective in general that we just need to talk. And there's not a way for us as coaches, as parents, directors, even trainers, whomever, to get together consistently and dialogue about what we need to do, what's right, what's wrong, how can we change this, how can we do that? We do things on Twitter, right? And even that, sometimes that can be misconstrued or taken out of place. We do that all the time. It has, right now I want to talk about a league. I mean, and bear with me too, because this is real what I'm talking about. I've been holding on to this for a couple of years. I shared it with a good friend of mine. Obviously, many of y'all know Stacey Houston in Dallas. I kind of talked to him about it for a while. We went over some things, but this was a couple of years ago. But I've been thinking about this for a while, and it has nothing to do. Let me say this. I thought about this even when I was at probably the height of my with the shoe deals as well, because I knew that at some point in time, we have to learn how to control the narrative ourselves and be able to do some things ourselves. So let me talk about what I was doing. I got my phone right here. So if I pull up my phone sometime, y'all forgive me or I look down at it because I had some things on my mind. I've been taking notes over the years and just kind of putting things together, right? But this is kind of, I wanted to look at it as far as a blueprint to starting a league. And when I say start a league, I'm talking about controlling it, controlling all of it, not just starting a league. And then when something else is going on, we have to take the weekend off and go do something else. No, that's not what this is about. This is about starting something, controlling every portion of it. And we're going to break down some things for it on it. We're going to break down some things on it from as far as uniforms, talking about funding, talking about, funding for the teams, how to get the teams funded, because everybody wants to say that they're a part of a shoe team, respectfully, or they're part of this league and that league. Listen, and you know what? Matter of fact, some people laughed, but I thought it was ironic last year. I can't remember what it is, so don't take this personal. But Coos Elite last year was a part of a league, and I can't remember what it was, but I think I saw the logo on the uniform. But when I saw that, it kind of, people was like, that's fake. But I was looking at it like, okay, somebody trying to go there, right? Because I had been thinking about this for a long time. So if you know what league they were in, make sure you type that into the comment section so we'll know what league they were in. But when I saw that, I was like, somebody might be getting this. Somebody might understand this. So long story short, let's start putting this thing together. I'm gonna put this on this side. Sorry, y'all. Let's put this together. Let's talk about location. We're gonna talk about locations. We're gonna talk about media. We're gonna talk about sponsors, uniform sponsors. We're gonna talk about shoe companies. We're gonna talk about how we'll allow the NCAA into our events. What's gonna come out of it, and we gotta talk about money. how money will be distributed and flow through everybody so that everybody's comfortable and people don't feel like somebody's cheating me, right? Somebody's cheating me. So that's not what we're gonna do. So check this out. Let's talk about, first of all, what would be the locations? What would be the locations of the league? What's the name of the league? I don't know, but let's talk about the locations. The locations would be Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. That's four locations throughout the state of Texas. Could it move? Could we go other locations? Absolutely. We can find other locations to kind of bring the economy up in those other locations. That's a big thing as well. So where will we be at? So let's say we decided to have those 4 locations, okay? Every weekend, we would play, not every weekend, but whether we go 4 locations, we have 5 total over the course of April through July, okay? Every weekend we play, each of those weekends, we play in a different location, each one of those cities randomly. How would we get there? First of all, we would find sponsors like an energy company, a sporting goods company, just any type of brand, to ask them to sponsor this league, this youth league that we have for these high school students that's going to be branded. Now, what did we do? My estimation, okay, so I'm putting this out there and I'm sharing this information with everybody so that, hey, just let me know what you think, because I've been doing this over the years and you can't take it because it's, I got it written down. I kind of put some work to it to make sure that it's been protected, but let me know what you think, because it's like, what we're going to do is this. Every team, and we're going to talk 17 unders right now. We'll have 16s and 15s as well, but we'll talk 17s. Every team will be on estimate. You probably, in order to be able to do it successfully and do it right, to go through those 4 cities, every team needs probably about between $3,000 to $4,000 for the weekend. That could even be on the high end, okay? $3,000 to $4,000. So every team that's in there, whether it's 20 1700 teams, whether it's 40 1700 teams, every team, we find enough sponsors, which we can, is very possible, to make sure that every team gets $20,000, okay? $20,000. Every 1700 team in this league gets $20,000. Even your uniforms, okay? The uniforms can have a logo. It's very similar to the WNBA and what the NBA has gone to now. Their logo, each team can be sponsored by a team or a company out of your particular city or area. Your team can be sponsored by a team out of your particular area, so you can have their logo on. That's some money right there, okay? Now, we can get a sponsor who will sponsor the whole league. Hey, they might give a couple $100,000 or whatever. That's been known to happen. Everyone knows that happens, okay? And that money will be distributed amongst the teams to be able to travel to the locations around the state of Texas. Now, if that's a uniform, how do we get the shoe companies involved? We don't have to have shoe companies involved. Why? Because bottom line is this. The coaches are going to come see the players. They don't care. They never have, nor do they really care about, even all this stuff that's going on with the FBI. The coaches care less about what shoes you're wearing. They just want you to come to their school. They don't care about, that's why they go to the Adidas, they go to Nike, they go to Under Armour. They don't care about what shoes you're wearing. They just want to get the best player to come to their school, okay? So we can get that out the way. That's clear. Now, week 1. We'll go in alphabetical order. Week 1, we can say Adidas. We can work out a deal with Adidas where they sponsor the league for week 1. They have all the advertisement. They got all the promos. They put up they lay out the whole infrastructure out and put their banners up for whatever they want in the gyms that we have for the first session. It's not going to be week 1, first session. Adidas does that. For the 1,700 teams that are in that, they gear up all the 1,700 teams. They gear up every team. They might give somebody a Damian Lillard. They might give someone a D Rose. They might give someone just anybody that you can think of, right? They might give different teams all their gear for the first session. I'm giving y'all some hints now, so you got to think about this because this can really work, okay? And it needs to work. So they get everything. So session 1 is sponsored by Adidas. Boom. Guess what? Instead of Adidas having to spend millions of dollars throughout the year to instead of these have to spend millions of dollars throughout the year on all 4 of their sessions, they could collaborate it into one of our sessions, right? Into one of our sessions. Be big time. I think that'd be big time. Okay. I'm sure they'll have a lot of good things for I'm sure they'll have a lot of good things for the kids and all the players. So boom, we do that. We're gonna break this thing down some more. So, like I said, if you're listening and you got some questions, make sure you type your comments up into that comment section because I need your feedback on this. We all need your feedback, and you gotta have to listen to this. You got to share this with somebody. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching. Check that out. Hit the thumbs up button. But you got to share this with some coaches and parents because this is something that's needed. Real talk. So session 2 could be sponsored by, we saw an alphabetical order, because session 2 could be sponsored by Nike. Okay. So session 2 could be sponsored by Nike. We tell them to promote our Texas league, and it's sponsored by Nike. So session 2, they lay out they got all the promos. They lay it out. They get all their banners and ads and everything else, and all the gyms that we use. They make sure that every team in the event is sponsored, has a new shoe, has branded gear, and everything else. That's session 2, sponsored by Nike. Okay, it's our league again. We're making the rules. Okay, so in other words, they don't want to be outdone. They don't want one group, one shoe company to be able to come in and have all the top players and teams in Texas to wear one gear. They all gonna want to get involved. I'm telling you, it works. Listen up. Okay, so cool. So now, where they put session 2, they can put their logos on the floor, on the courts, on the backboards, everything. So when the parents walk in, they feel like the first time they went through a Adidas experience. Wow, it's great. Session 2, oh wow, they're going through the Nike experience. So now they're competing against each other to see who can give everybody the best experience. Session 3 could be sponsored by Under Armour, you know what I'm saying? And so now they come in, they put their logos and everything down, put everything up. They give all the kids, all the teams, the 1,700 teams. It could be 6 teams. I'm just talking out loud. They give them all the gear for that 3rd session. Gear them up, okay? Now we rolling. So the same thing for the 4th session, whether it's Puma or even if we just get a huge energy company from the state of Texas to host that weekend. So that weekend, they might say, hey, since we're sponsoring this weekend, everybody that signs up for their energy company gets a free month of electricity. So everybody. So trust me, we can get it out there. All right. This is how it works. This is good. This is good information. So again, if you're listening, if you're watching, you got some comments, share them with me. Let's talk about it. Throw a question or two out there because this can work. This can work. And I'm just trying to make sure that we get on the same page. Now, how does this affect? Now, the question would be, how does this affect the NCAA if they have a live period? Well, again, our commitment is to the players who are running with us. Okay. This would be a question, but tell me, it's got to start somewhere. Listen to me. We can't remain slaves our whole time. We got to get out of this, physical and mental bondage. Listen, to their system, to the NCAA system. So if they have a live period, we got a live period. In our situation for Texas, if they don't stamp ours to be a live period, our kids stay and play anyway. Who's going to miss out? Think about all the kids from Texas. Texas Tech was in the championship right now. Those kids were from Texas. You can't make these schools in Texas miss out on kids inside the state of Texas. They'll definitely allow our league, as I said, our league to be branded, to be allowed to be live during the live periods. So those coaches would come in and they would monitor our league. Not only that, but check this out. In order to allow the NCAA to allow them, the coaches to be able to come in, we're going to ask the NCAA to do something to some of these communities. There's some rec centers. There's some schools that need to be upgraded and refurbished. There's youth community centers that need computers. The NCAA gets all of our money all the time. You sign up for the what's the deal? You sign up for the clearinghouse every year, and what happens to the money for the people that don't get cleared through the clearinghouse? I've never heard anybody say that they got a check back from the NCAA. They keep that money. We're their cash cow. So guess what? It's time for them to give back. So we're going to have the NCAA, in order to allow these coaches to come into our set to recruit these kids, they need to give back to our communities. They need to make sure they put people inside these schools. We need to require that the NCAA has seminars in certain schools every year so that they can have, it's a question and answer period all the time. They need to start working for us. So that's the point right there as far as how we control the NCAA, as far as making sure that they understand that they need to be a part of this, because the coaches need to come see the players. So that's a big part of it right there. And when you start talking about media, how would the media be used? We have a lot of the Texas media. Okay, we have a lot of media in Texas. I know we got a lot in Houston. I know there's a lot in Dallas. There's a good number that's rising up in Austin and San Antonio in the Centex area. So we find a way for the media to collaborate with one another to make sure that each of their platforms are given certain lifts and certain boosts, but definitely them to have carte blanche, whatever it's called, to access to all the kids, all the teams, directors, even parents. Now, to me, that's big time. That's how some things should be done. Let me turn this back on. Let me see what else I had, because I had some notes that I've been talking about. I've been talking real fast because I know that's it's just something that I just been thinking about for a long time. Been talking about for a long time. That is the gist of it. That sums it up in particular. I don't know if y'all got any questions. Anybody got any questions? I hear you, Faluke. I hear you. You say Slim said absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. We need to do that. But that's what we don't talk about enough as a basketball and as a sports community. Okay. Everybody's spread out. We never get a chance to meet and collaborate. So I'm sharing some thoughts and ideas I've had for the past couple of years, and I'm hopefully on Inside Booth on Twitter at Inside Booth. I tagged a lot of teams that I know people are working right now, and I tagged a lot of teams and maybe individuals to kind of watch this. Hopefully they, most people can't tune in while they're working. I get that, but hopefully they'll come back and they'll watch this and they'll get a chance to get a lot of ideas out of this, and we can dialogue about this. But trust me, we need our own league here in the state of Texas, and it ain't just Texas; it's all over the place. Will we allow other people? It can be branded out, but we got to start somewhere, right? So a recap: we have destinations, locations. We can have Marriott. Think about it. We have Marriott, Hilton to sponsor a weekend when we get ready to go play somewhere. Why? Because we're bringing all this revenue into this city. That city where we're at will sponsor the events. They'll give us the gyms for it because of all the revenue that we're going to be bringing in, all the traction to the local stores and everything else. We got to start thinking like this from an economic standpoint. We got to start talking about the money that's going to be coming in. So we get the gyms for free. Okay. We get the sponsors to be able to pay to give each of these teams the money that they need to travel just for these sports. Me personally, I know if I had to take a 1700 team from Houston to Dallas, I'm spending maybe $2,000, maybe $2,000 for that weekend, to be honest with you, maybe $2,000, because we're going to drive up there. Everywhere we're going, we're driving. So I'm going to spend $2,000 to go from Houston on the hotels for Friday night and a Saturday night. We're checking out Sunday. So that's hotels. It's probably about 800. You know what I'm saying? So we spent about $2,000 from Houston to Dallas. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So basically each team, I said each team gets about 15 to 20 grand, but each team can make the travel situation work with about 12 grand total. Okay. That's just for 7 teams. So now we got our locations together. Okay. We know where we're going. We know we're staying because guess what? We got hotels to sponsor because of in the city to come to help because of the traction and the economic boom that we're going to bring to the city. It's all about economics, y'all. It's all about money right there. If we bringing in a lot of money, they're going to give us some concessions and give us a lot of room to be able to move around. Make sure you hit that like button if you're watching. Hit that like for me. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe. Share this page with your friends. Let them know what you're watching right now, that we're trying to grow. I'm sharing some things that's been on my mind with all the basketball community right now. I'm not trying to be selfish. We don't grow because we keep things to ourselves. I'm trying to help. Okay, so check this out. Now we got the league. How are we gonna get uniforms? How we get uniforms? Okay, we get uniforms. We get like I said, even week 1. What I say, Adidas could sponsor the league for session 1. They could give us uniforms for that weekend, reversibles or whatever. Okay, that weekend, or we had uniforms. Everybody got a uniform. We can get company logos to put on there. They're gonna sponsor for us to wear their patch because they're all gonna be high level basketball, and their brand is gonna be out there. They can certain companies in your local region can sponsor the team. Okay. Now, how are we going to be mindful and masterful? Let's what next part again. How are we going to mastermind the optics of all these leagues and make sure all these sessions to make sure they live? Adidas sponsors session 1. They come in, they put up their banners, their goals, their tags, they take care of all the teams to make sure that they all have shoes and gear and bags and everything else. Phenomenal. They'd rather spend a couple $100,000 on a weekend probably than having to spend damn near $500,000 over the course of their 4 or 5 weekends with all their teams. Okay, cool. Session 2, we talking about. Session 2 might be sponsored by Nike. They come in, they they make it real nice. They put all the optics, make it looked up, so they got all the branding rights for session 2. There it is. Okay, Under Armour session 3, Puma 4, or whatever, whomever session 4. Now, that's cool, right? Everybody's in. Everybody's having the chance to be seen in front of college coaches. Who puts the schedule together? Schedule is easy, okay? It's a league. We put a schedule together. We put up different. We got maybe 10 teams. We got 40 teams. We can do it like that. We might have 10 teams from the Houston area, or 8 teams from the Houston area in the 1700 team, 8 teams from the Dallas area, 8 teams from the San Antonio Syntex area, and even South Texas. You know what I mean? So we put all our teams in from those locations. Will some teams be better than others? Probably so, but for the most part, I think about 70% of the league, because of how things are going in Texas with basketball, everybody's going to be very competitive. Everybody's going to be very competitive. So that's what we're going to do with that. Now, how will we handle the NCAA again? We just recapping right now. How will we handle the NCAA? We have what they want. We're not holding them hostage. They need, they need to make sure they sanction our event to make sure these college coaches are able to come in. They'll sanction it. At the same time, what we're going to require something from the NCAA. Everybody always gives them money. They never give back to the communities that these kids come from. They never come back and give anything. They're using us as a one-way ticket to fund them, okay? So what they're going to have to do is put some computers in classrooms. They're going to have to fix some community centers. They're going to have some seminars every weekend, a couple of times, once a quarter, a couple of times a year, in order for us to allow their college coaches to come in. When the college coaches come in, yes, we do charge the same thing as tournaments. We charge packet prices. We charge packets for these coaches to come in. We got to get funded. We got to make sure we take care of ourselves, because the money that's made will be split amongst the teams in each city. It can be split collectively because we'll have people watching the money for checks and balances. It'll be checks and balances across the board, okay? We could do it like this. All the revenue, if there's 8 teams in each of these 4 regions that we're talking about, if there's 8 teams from the Austin area, whatever's revenue was raised that weekend, boom, they get that. Whatever revenues from the second weekend, Dallas, Houston, the 4th weekend, San Antonio, they could get that revenue. Or we could just take collectively each of the cities, and probably be good for that, and just split those revenues amongst all the teams as well. So everybody, guess what? Everybody becomes a team owner. Every program becomes a team owner. You're making money and you're making revenue back to be able to help your team to be successful in our league. In our league. You got that? Everyone. Everyone. What you say, Slim? Let me see. You say networking is mandatory. All egos must be put aside. We must have to understand that there's one common denominator. None of my kid, my guy, this and that. No doubt. No doubt, Slim. Listen, it's about so we got to remember it like this. With this, that means that every parent, every director will now become a team owner, period. And that's how I look at it. So when you have a team owner, you want to make sure that you want to be able to get the rewards of everything that having the best team gets, right? So you're going to go out and you're going to solicit to try to get the best players, okay? We'll have rules in place where kids can't move during that time if a kid moves out. Same thing like some of these other leagues have that are the shoe companies have. But at the same time, like you said, the egos have to be put aside. I believe personally it's a whole lot easier for egos to be put aside when everybody knows that the pie is going to be split equally amongst everybody, okay? Now, there are incentives. We'll have incentives for those who win the league. For those who win their conference, we'll have incentives. And it can be financially based incentives based upon the revenue streams that are going to be coming in. Whoever gets to the second round, or when we talk about playoffs, whoever gets to the second round, third round, gets to the championship, there are more incentives involved as well. So that makes sure that every team continues to work to try to get better. Now, whoever wins the championship, whatever team and team owner, whoever wins the championship, collectively, they get a little bonus. We'll talk about that going in so that everybody knows that each team has an individual chance, their own chance at being successful and at winning the league. I think that's huge. That's huge. So again, like I said, I know if anybody else is watching, you got something to put to comment on, type in that comment section. We're going to talk about this. We're going to dialogue for a little while. Probably got about another maybe 10 minutes before we get up out of here. You know, it's getting hot in here, man. Just like when the podcast is, but man, you know it's hot up in here. And hit that thumbs up button too for me if you can. So where was I at? Okay, so the NCAA, and that's how we're going to allow them to have their coaches in. The coaches come in because, look, that's what they need to see. That's what they need to see. Does this stop us from going anywhere else? No, because the monies and finances that these teams receive from being a part of the league, the directors of these clubs, they can use that funding to continue to help do whatever they need to do with their team, their whole program overall, or they can use that money to help them to travel to other locations outside of our league when our league is going. If there's an event going on in Vegas, Orlando, California, they can use those finances to go out there and move around. I just think that that's a good idea. But like Slim said, there has to be all egos aside. And when you communicate properly, it helps to put those egos aside from off the rip, because everybody knows that they're getting some up out of it. If you're watching also, man, do a minute, hit that share button, share it on your Twitter, share it to your Facebook or whatever. But help us to get the word out, man, so we can continue to grow the platform. We're going to start talking about all things sports, all things basketball. I'm really looking forward to really getting some more of the kids on here, man. I really enjoy talking to the young fellas, man, to get a chance to know who they are. If y'all know some guys that young men that y'all believe that should be inside the booth, want to hear them on, make sure you hit me on Twitter at Inside Booth, and we're gonna get them going on. But we're gonna get them on and talk to them. But that's pretty much it, man. I shared some things that I've been holding on for years. So I got a lot more details on this on how it can really work. Yes, I have a lot more details on how it can really work. But over the years, I've been putting this together and just been kind of thinking about how to make it work, man. Think about how to make it work, because from a personal perspective, I've been with brands. I've been with Independent, and I've won. I've been with two different shoe companies, which was Adidas and Nike, not in that order. But I seen how things work, and what I do is, and the biggest thing is, I know, not totally, but I have a great idea on how the NCAA works, and they pigeonhole us. They're trying to pigeonhole us, and they make us think that we need them, when all in actuality we have what they need to make them their company to roll. We have our resources as our kid. They call our kids product. Ain't that something? But we have the product to make their system go. And if we continue to refocus and collaborate to work together, know that we have what they need. You're going to give us what we need in order to make what you need grow. I see nothing wrong with that. I think that's what we need to do. So, again, if you're just tuning in, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the share button, but definitely go back and listen to what we talked about as far as how to put this league together in the state of Texas. I think it'll work. Like I said, I think it'll work. I know it'll work. It'd be phenomenal. It's going to be great. And I think parents will love it, We ain't got to charge 12 and 15 bucks every weekend. These are our parents. We all feel a certain way about all our parents. We can charge maybe, look, $5 a person, regardless of age, every weekend. So people can get in there and watch their kids play. It's not a money grab because we know that you've already been given money ahead of time to make sure your teams are sponsored. But, weekend after weekend, we need to do this. The travel, every team would get, I say, between 10 and 20. I think you can make up to 20, but you can get to every city for the weekend on a weekend for about $2,200 max. Everybody can. And that's what we need to be working at. That's what we need to work at. Yeah, Slim, it'll work. It'll work. I've been watching. I've been doing this for a long time, man, and I've been watching, and I know these things will work. I know it'll work. We just got to get everybody together. And that's another reason why I would say the platform started. I keep dabbling on things all the time, man. If y'all know me, I dabble. I talk about all kinds of things. So I don't even ask y'all. I ask y'all on Twitter to follow Inside Booth, at Inside Booth. I don't ask you to follow me because I just want to let's stay on this platform right here because I dabble in a lot of things. I think that we need to talk about a lot of stuff. But from a basketball perspective, this is what we need. I would love to be able to have, we can put multiple people, multiple coaches into the booth at one time. So I'd like to be able to talk to the coaches from get Big E from Dallas, get Jazz from Dallas, get Luke from San Antonio, and talk to the guys inside the booth and figure out how we can make this league to work. I don't think it'd be bad at all. We can get sponsors from various people. So that's where it is, man. That's where it is. I think it'll be successful. We just put some information out there right now that nobody will be able to say that they didn't hear anything, that it wasn't out there. One thing you can't do now is you definitely can't take it and act like it was yours. A lot of people seeing this, they're going to know that, where we all talked about. And I'm not trying to just say that this is mine. I'm taking this. No, it's ours. It's collectively. I already said everything will be split down the middle. Everybody as a team owner, as a team director, as a team owner, and you get benefits of how your team plays and about all the sponsorships that come in. Remember, it's all about the talent that our kids have and the resources, but it's also about economics. It's also making sure that people, they have the money to fund this, and we need to make sure that they fund it. Shoe companies are funded. I know some of these shoe companies spend over $1 million for their leagues. They spend over $1 million in their budget for their leagues. Yeah, right. So in order to, you don't think they would know if they only just had to sponsor our league for one weekend, one session, that they would go all out? They would be like, wow, we can sponsor that whole thing for boom, 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 $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. That whole weekend for $80,000, boom, they own it on top. They've saved money for the budget. Now they can do all this other things with that budget money, do all commercials, whatever. But that's what it is, man. Nobody else had any questions, no comments besides Slim. So, man, look at this. I appreciate y'all tuning in inside the booth with me and just going hard, and especially for subscribing and sharing it when you can. All of it. I appreciate all of it. Matter of fact, I might try going here right now and hit share myself so I can make sure that people shoot. Let me see this. Share. Yeah. I just hit tweet and I just shared that thing myself. So I appreciate that. Resources have to be put back into certain communities. Absolutely. That's why I wouldn't have a problem talking with to the NCAA and letting them people know that, look, you make the coaches pay to coach their own kids in your events so that your coaches can watch our kids. I got to pay you for your people to watch our kids. That's backwards. And we've been allowing it to happen for years. Think about that. I got to pay you to watch my kid. That's going to help your company to grow. You need to be paying me to watch my kid so that we can decide on whether we want to allow him to represent your brand. That makes sense? So that's how that goes. So we've been paying, it's been backwards. And it's time we got to refocus and reprogram our minds to be able to help the NCAA to understand that They need to be helping the communities. They need to be giving back. There's too many kids that are coming up short in the classroom, and the counselors at the high schools don't even know the right classes they need to be taking. But the NCAA makes billions of dollars every year, and they can't even put a counselor to. They can't assign. They in the city of Houston, they should have maybe eight people throughout the city of Houston where they go to every school to make sure that all the athletes are taking the right places, right courses. That's their job every day. Hit 3 or 4 schools up every day. That's their job. Okay. So we make sure they come back to the community. They need to, it's rec centers that need things. There's parks that need to be, kids need computers. So many things. Kids need shoes. So that's what they do. That's how we have them to come back to make sure that we give them access to our children. So they always understand this is ours. This is politics is, remember this, politics is a two-way street. Politics is always quid pro quo. That's the only thing politics is. You do for me, I'll do for you. It's not a one-way street. So we're going to allow you to let our kids to come help your platform. Don't give me the situation about we're giving them a free education. No, I tell you what. If you want to talk about it, giving them a free education, pay me for the amount of money that our kids will bring in to this university. Pay my son for that. So if my son's going to make $90,000, we just pay for the education on our own. That's cool. So you ain't paying me. You paying me to allow my son, you should give my son a salary at $90,000. Okay, son, pay your 25 grand this year for school. Boom. Now he walks away with 65 grand. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. So we hold the NCAA accountable. People don't be looking at things like that. We got to start thinking on that level, guys. It's economic empowerment to make sure that the kids and our communities, our neighborhoods continue to grow. But I'm good. I like that, though. I like the sound of it. Again, if you have any comments, type a comment in right there and share with me. And because we're going to talk about it. But then again, share it with people, whomever you need to hit. Hit that share button. And hit the like button, too. Give us a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up. So I think that's about it, man. I'm about to get ready to wind it down. But thank y'all for tuning in. I enjoyed communicating and talking. And something just hit me today. Said, man, I need to get on here and share some information that I hadn't shared with everybody, been holding on to for years. And for basketball, it's to help everybody. Because everybody says, I want to play with this league. I want to play with that league. I want to wear with these. I want to wear that. They coming. You don't think all those scouting service would come? They would all come. In other places, other people would pick up the same formats, try to do the same things. First to market usually wins. We could be one of the first to markets for the whole state to be involved in the league. I'm looking forward to hear what Lupe say about this, man. Lupe always come back. He got a lot of energy when he be talking, man. I want to hear what Lupe has to say, too. That's a guy from Hard Work, if y'all didn't know. So as we get ready to wind down, man, nobody else had any questions. Slim, appreciate you really giving feedback on that, man. That means a lot, man. It helps. That got my energy going when I looked up and I saw that you had a comment. Somebody had a comment, gets my energy going, so it gets me to work and help me know that other people are thinking along the same lines of how to make things work. I appreciate that. We got a lot of people that can make this work. Got a lot of people that can make it work. So we're gonna see how hopefully these other teams that I did at them on Twitter at Inside Booth, so that they'll see that we was live today, and hopefully they'll go back and watch it and have some feedback to get together. We can't all be in the same place at one time, but inside the booth right here, I can have up to 20-something people on here at one time, and we can bring different guys in. We can have a roundtable discussion, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have some people on hold, bring other people in later on. We can do it since it's not. We can't always ride up and down the highway to talk to each other, and a phone conversation could be tough sometimes. But we're all looking at each other right here. We're all viewing each other, and we all can make this work. We all say we're in it for the kids, man. We all say we're in it for the kids, and that's one way that you can have some ownership. You have ownership. You be a company, man. You can own your own. You can own your own league. You can own your own team. You know what I mean? You can own your own team. That's dope, right? Be a team owner. And the sponsors will come in. We do this just like the leagues, man. The real leagues. I'm trying to think who'll be the commissioner. We get a commissioner. We get somebody that's real. The commissioner would have to be somebody that's great at fundraising, great at talking, public speaking, and know how to knock on some doors and do some fundraising. I think it'd be dope. Look, I'm out. No other comments, no other suggestions or thoughts. We're going to roll up out of here. I'm going to screenshot Slim's questions. I'm going to add them to the Twitter message later on. And that's it. All right. So I'm Marlon Lowe. Thanks for joining me inside the booth. Make sure you follow us back on Twitter. We out. Oh, one more thing. Send this to a friend and ask them to subscribe to it. Send it to somebody outside the city, outside the state, and ask them to subscribe. Somebody that you know that's in the basketball world that really enjoys it. We can talk. Someday we can get them on too. Ask them to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit up for like, okay? Make sure you share it as much as you can. And there it is. Appreciate it. 100. I'll let you soon. Tomorrow. Back inside the booth tomorrow. Enjoy.